What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I have a little extra video up this week. It's not an Inkie Quill video week, but I wanted to pop one up because I realised I have accidentally filmed way too many Inkie Quill YouTube videos, and I have enough videos to last me until I think March or April next year, and I definitely want to include some baby ones before then. So I thought I'd upload an extra one and show you how a bit of a scrap stash Saturday. If you're an old school inklet, you'd remember my scrap stash Saturday videos. It's just a good way because I don't know about you guys, but I find that my paper scraps do seem to accumulate unless I give myself like the specific focal task of trying to use them up on a single layout. I don't know why I had this ribbon. I think I must have used it for some present wrapping and it was just lying on my desk. Ribbon's not usually one of my go-to supplies, and I was desperately trying to use it in some way, shape or form, but I don't think it ended up making it to the page. So for this, I have taken a navy piece. I have a feeling this could be very old Dear Lizzie or Cocoa Vanilla. I'm not sure which one, but it wasn't quite big enough for a 8.5 by 11 layout, which is what I was making. So I just ripped it like it was intentionally meant to not be big enough, and then connected just a neutral grey stripe. I find that if I'm using a dark, like bold background colour, I quite often like to pair it with a little strip of something a bit fresher and brighter and more neutral, and it just seems to balance it off. So then I went through my scrap drawers. So I keep my paper, I think I may have showed it in my craft room tour before I packed up that craft room and moved it into another room, which was up a couple of months ago. I keep my scraps in this little set of 4 shallow drawers, and these drawers are right underneath my desk, which means they're easy to access, and most importantly for me, they're easy to put the scraps away because I'm quite good at making craft lunches, and I'm a little bit of a lazy scrapbooker in that things don't often find their way back to where they belong. So this is just the easiest solution that I've found for my scraps. So for this photo, this is a photo of my old year 10 high school group. So here in Australia, our high school is years 7 to 12, and well, in New South Wales where I am anyway. I'm not sure if it's different in other states. I think there's somewhere has senior school. I'm not quite sure which state that is. But in year 10, I was in this group with 5 other beautiful girls, and sadly our school didn't offer the subjects that 3 of them wanted to do, or they clashed and they couldn't do all of the subjects that they wanted to do for year 11 and 12, which are our senior years. And so 3 of them moved on to different high schools, which completely broke the group in half. And we haven't been together. I think the last time we were together, I think, was before I had Archie, because both myself and one other girl were both pregnant at the time, or no, she was pregnant and we were about to start trying, I think. So it's been a few years since we've all been together, and it was nice to catch up with the girls because we've been friends for a long, long time. I think we've been friends for 19 years or so. So it was good to see them. And I wanted to use up some paper bits and pieces, and I decided to stick with a mostly neutral colour scheme with some hits of blue and gold. Gold's a neutral for me. So I started off, I get a lot of questions about layering, and so I thought this would be a good video to show how I can use some bigger paper layers. So the first thing I did was I selected 3 similar. Now, I've got baby brain at the moment, peeps, so I'm sorry about my vocabulary, but similar, what's the word I'm thinking of? Thicknesses, width, similar. They were about the same width. That's what I want to say. The 3 papers at the back were about the same width. That black and white polka dot, and then that brown with the semicircles, and then the cream and gold florally leafy one. So I started with those as my base, and I made sure that they overhang on all sides from my photo. Then I created just a piece of vellum that has numbers on it. I thought the numbers were appropriate because we've been friends for so long, and we always just refer to ourselves as the Year 10 group. So I thought the numbers worked out with that. So I did that as a large mat, and then I matted my photo in a colour. And I find that when I mat my photo with a white border and then a colour, and then use neutrals for the rest of the layers, it really does make the focus go on the photo. So that's a bit of a trick if you're struggling with your paper layering. Try and mat your photo just with white first of all, and then choose a colour. It could be a colour that matches the background paper. It could be a colour that stands out in the photo. It just kind of directs the eye to the photo, especially when you've got so many competing patterns, because there's a lot of different patterns on this page. I grabbed the Happy from, it was the Crepe Paper birthday collection that came out earlier this year or at the end of last year. I can't quite remember when. And I thought that I would just call this one Happy Together. The blue is a little bit brighter than the background, but it still works, and it actually makes the background look brighter in itself. And then the Together were just some white thickers that I had in my stash. I wanted to use some wood veneer to tie in some of the woody coloured pattern paper in the background. That semicircle one, it's a strange pattern to try and describe, but it's like scalloping, that's what it is. It's brown with cream scallops, and I wanted to include something that had that warm feeling, so I thought wood veneer was a good way to do so. I then added a label down the bottom, and then that florally doodled label is one of my old Inkie Quill Patreon printables that I had lying around, and so I added that. And then I felt like I was really heavy in this bottom right hand corner, and so I needed to move my design up a little bit. You'll notice with a lot of my layouts that I do, I am quite partial to a diagonal line of vision when you look at my layout, and it wasn't diagonally enough for my liking. So I grabbed another one of that circle one's another one of my printables, and then just a grey label that I had in my stash, just to add a little bit more journaling here and there. And this page came together really quickly. I must admit, I love mixed media, and I love using paints and inks and all the messy things and stencils and modelling paste in my scrapbooking, but it is nice sometimes to just see a page come together easier. And I don't know, I feel like there's less complications when I don't use mixed media. And so it's nice. I like to break it up sometimes and do some painty ones and some that are more emphasized on the use of pattern paper. Let me know in the comments, are you a mixed media layout type of person, or are you a papery kind of layout person? I think I fluctuate between the two. I really go in binges. So for like a solid month, everything I do will be mixed media, and I'll be totally in with all of the paints and want to use them on everything. And then other months, I just want to use up some of my pattern paper, use up some supplies, and try and make a bit of a dent in my pattern paper stash and my scraps. I felt like I needed something to tie these two sides together, so I did a doodly border using my white Uniball Signo Broad gel pen, and then the black one is just my Pilot G2 in a 07 size. And then just added, when in doubt, add some doodly hearts. And this layout is all finished. It came together really quickly. Like I said, it's an 8.5 by 11. I buy those sized page protectors from scrapbook.com. They come in a nice big thick pack and I go through them quite quickly. But thanks for joining me today, peeps, and I will have another video, another layout next weekend. It's actually one of my favourite ones that I've done for quite a while. And then I will be taking a little 6-week hiatus and I'll see you in December after that. All right, peeps, till next time. Bye.